So with that, I'd like to introduce my boss, Chris Young.
Well, I appreciate that, Chatelle. Thank you very much for that, that introduction. I asked Chatelle if she would she'd introduce me because we've done so much great work together over the course of the last nearly 5 years. First at Intel, and then later on as part of McAfee. I'm gonna actually go to my own notes because I think we might have something different down below. I will say this, Chatelle, it's really been your vision. It's been your energy and passion for not only inclusion but diversity at McAfee that's inspired me, and so I want to say thank you for that. And I want to thank some of my other team members from McAfee for being here as well to support me. I appreciate everything that you do for me and for us in our important mission in cybersecurity. Our McAfee HR team, just one small plug, they imagine the possibilities and they make them real. They make them happen for all of us at our company. And I think they should be an inspiration to a lot of companies around the world for helping us achieve pay parity and other very important employee-related milestones. I also want to say thank you to Culture Shift Labs for this honor today and including me amongst such a distinguished group of people. I also want to say thank you to, I want to say congratulations to the others who've been honored today. I didn't work at Google, so I can't share that with some of you guys. But I am honored to be in your presence. I'm also someone who would say thank you to Ken Coleman. There's probably a bingo card out there for Ken Coleman somewhere. But no, Ken, I met Ken probably about 18 years ago or so. One of my professors, Jim Cash, who you might know from Harvard Business School, introduced us. I met Ken, I met his wife Caritha after that, and then when I ultimately moved out here just about 9 years ago, we stayed in touch, and he's been an inspiration to me and has been sort of encouraging me to tell my story. My story, as Chatelle pointed out, I was a kid who grew up on the east side of Cleveland. I can tell you that growing up on the east side of Cleveland, where I grew up anyway, I didn't know anybody like me at the time. I didn't know any CEOs, I didn't know any senior level executives, and I certainly didn't know any black people who had money. I didn't even really get it, honestly. I remember I did go to Princeton undergrad, and I remember my freshman year, one of my buddies mentioned, he's from New York, and you know, he used to make fun of me because they thought I talked slow because I was from the Midwest. So that's Tyson. You get that. I understand, man. But you know, he mentioned like, hey, you know, I was like, oh, what'd you do for the summer? He's like, oh, my family and I went to Martha's Vineyard, and I said, and being from Cleveland, being from where I was from, at least in Cleveland, I didn't know what Martha's Vineyard represented, but many of you do. I've certainly learned since then. But I asked them. I was like, oh, so you guys like picking grapes or something for the summer? And anyway, they got some good laughs out of that one later. But suffice it to say, a lot's changed, certainly in my life over the last 25 plus years. And I couldn't be more, in some ways, sort of proud of the opportunities that I've had along the way. Like many of you in the audience, like many of my fellow honorees, I'm also very now committed to innovation in everything that I do, committed to leadership in a variety of places. Whether it's in our industry, in cybersecurity, we have very important work to do. I remind our teams and our partners, our customers of that every single day. Whether it's in technology, as an example, whether it's cloud or AI or other elements of our portfolio, leadership is critically important. But also in diversity and culture. One of the things we did a couple years ago when we spun McAfee out of Intel is we spent an inordinate amount of time on envisioning the culture that we wanted the company to become all about. We put in place values. We put in place something called the McAfee Pledge. I asked everyone in the company to literally sign a pledge that you will keep people safe because that's what we do. And it's very important to me. One of our values, we have 5 core values at McAfee. It's that we innovate without fear. We play to win or we don't play is the other one. And it's one of the reasons why McAfee is one of the first in cybersecurity. Scott, if you're still out there, sorry, man. We got you guys this time. McAfee is one of the first in the industry to have pay parity across gender, across racial and ethnic lines, and we're very proud of that. Thank you. We've also established culture and diversity councils around the world. We've got a diversity scorecard because I believe you have to measure progress. This is something I give credit to Intel for because we did that really well when I was part of Intel. I give them a lot of credit. We keep score in sports, right? So we should keep score in everything we do. And I think, actually, in that spirit, the Warriors, I think, are going to get it done. 24 seconds left. They were up by 5. So it's looking good if you're keeping score. They won? All right. I love it. I love it. I wasn't sure we were going to get it done. But we have to measure ourselves if we're going to be effective. I can also say that McAfee certainly is about innovation. It's something I'm trying to bring into the company drive as part of our core culture. Certainly that's true in technology. But I also encourage our teams to be as proud of the work, the innovative work that we do around our culture and around our people in the company. That's incredibly important as well. I also want to make it clear to the folks in our team that we're not finished yet, that we have a lot of work to do. In fact, I've been in cybersecurity for over 20 years, all that time obviously in the technology space, more broadly speaking. And in some ways, our levels of diversity haven't gotten any better. In some ways, they've gotten worse over that time period. Certainly from a gender representation perspective, we haven't done much better in technology, broadly speaking. If I want to put it in business terms for a moment, in my industry, in cybersecurity, we like to talk about the fact that we're actually short about 2 million trained cybersecurity professionals to deliver on the job openings and to protect the companies, the governmental organizations around the world that are necessary. And so when I think about it this way, encouraging more diverse parts of our population, broadly speaking, to join not only our industry in cyber, but our company at McAfee, it's an incredibly important part of our business mission, and that can't be denied. We have to tap broader talent pools if we're going to get done the important work that we need to get done. And that's one of the reasons why at McAfee we're taking action, because it's important to us, it's important to our industry. So I wanted to share something with you that we have adopted at McAfee. We adopted it recently in a leadership meeting that we had. It's called the Wisdom Framework, and it's all about focusing on action, particularly after an event like the Culture Shifting Weekend. Wisdom, in this case, stands for what I'll say, and in parentheses, and do differently on Monday. What I'll say and do differently on Monday. After today, after this weekend, I'd ask everyone here, what's your wisdom? I'll call out Andrea and the Culture Shifting Labs for the work that you do. Denmark, for the work you do in driving change and in challenging the rest of us to do the same. And I appreciate that. For that, I thank you. I also appreciate the work that you're doing to make sure that we celebrate our accomplishments as well, because as you've pointed out, and as Ken pointed out to me, that's equally as important, because celebration of our accomplishments is only going to help us grow. I look around the room and at the reception today out in the garden, and I'm energized and honored to be in the company of each and every one of you that's here today. It's a special day for me and for my wife, Stephanie, for being here with me. I want to say thank you. Stephanie challenges me every day to strive to be better, whether it be in my career or whether it be to be a better father to our twin daughters at home. So I appreciate that. I love you, sweetheart. Thank you very much for that. And I just want to say thank you again for inviting me, for inviting us to celebrate with you today and this weekend. And I'll leave you with this, a reminder. Tomorrow is Monday. It's Monday. And with wisdom in hand, I'm going to get back to the work of protecting people and keeping them safe, but also in shifting culture and creating the future that we all know is possible. Thank you again.